What's up guys? Today I want to make a quick video, just a meaningful way to deal with suffering, like one that actually might help. I say this as someone, I'm not trying to make it sound easier than it is, Suffering sucks, but it is something that just does come in life, and I think this is a good thing to know that if you deal with suffering, then every time you deal with it, you can kind of like have in your head, if I can get through this and if I can learn from this, then not only is it going to help me, but it's actually, I could actually use this experience to help others. So if you open your eyes a little bit, start looking for little solutions, then you might actually learn from it yourself and be able to help others. I mean, be careful, I learned the hard way that, certain types of advice seem good and then they're not. There's lots of unintended consequences. I think the cornerstone of advice almost has to be Jesus Christ, because if it's not, in my opinion, then we don't really know what we're doing with, You could, anything can go bad, Trying to master my diet went badly for me. Some guy could get like really strong in the gym and it could change his life for the better, but some guy could get really strong in the gym and it could make him like insanely arrogant and focused on the wrong things, and then it goes bad for his life in the long term. That's the side thing about advice, Jordan Peterson talks a little bit about, like, you just gotta understand that what is in your head is actually nothing compared to like the big truth potentially. So that's kind of like part of the faith of God and Jesus, right? It's like, at least we can rely on God and we can trust God and Jesus' way, that it's eternal, it's transcendent, it's always good, and we can put it in God's hands, especially through praying. It's a good thing. I'd be careful because, I don't know, I've been trying to battle with giving advice. I think you have to work out the balance. You have to really put it in God's hands and want the best for people, but it's difficult. It's really difficult. As far as suffering, some of the best lessons in life I've gone through, some of the... My cat always starts meowing like whenever I record a video. It's actually really interesting. I think it's looking a little bit like sabotage. But yeah, man, when you're suffering, it can be tough. But I want to give you a few ideas. One is, don't give up. There's a good quote which is like, when you're in hell, when you find yourself in hell, keep walking. Keep walking forward, and then you'll eventually get out of it. It's kind of the people that kind of give up and set up camp in hell and start getting resentful or start hating on people or indulging in pleasures or addictions. They're the people that really stay in their sufferings. But if you make your base, if you make your base loving and, trusting in God and Jesus and with that stuff, and truthful, and then also you just make your base a bit more positive, where you can. I'm not saying it's easy, but actually trying to learn from it, get a good stability, take care of yourself, even when you don't feel like it, do what you gotta do. You might find that you're in a much, much, much better place when you pretty much, I think, inevitably get out of the suffering. I think most suffering ends, but, if you are in the dirt, if you are in like a really dark time, really helped me before, just trying to learn from my situation. And sometimes you got to think outside the box. It's not always easy, but just really like learning from your mistakes ain't a bad thing, and making some brave steps isn't a bad thing. One little thing, never do something bad to yourself, never hurt yourself, never end yourself, in those situations. Well, what I realized is a trick that evil does is, at pretty much any cost, it will try and get certain people to do that. It's never right. I know of many situations where people even feel like it's for the better somehow. Their mind, somehow tricks them into thinking it's good. Like, there's a rapper that did some real bad thing to himself and he thought he was doing it for like spiritual reasons, but there's a lesson in Matthew 4 of the Bible where the devil tries to get Jesus to jump off a high place, and he even uses the Bible out of context to get him to do it. But Jesus says, no, do not put the Lord your God to the test. So basically, don't do that. At any cost, don't do that. And other than that, man, just don't give up. It's so difficult to realize that when you're in the dirt, you know, like the world looks so different when you're going through a bad time, and your chemicals and your mind and everything has such a strong grip on you. But that's one of the reasons, you know, to just try. I'm really not saying it's easy. I'm not trying to be in a position where it's like, oh, it's easy for me to say, you know, like, you know, understand it can be hard, but if you just try and, you know, push and do what's best, treat people right, you know, don't lash out at people, you know, turn to God as well, and just looking slightly on the bright side, as long as you're being honest with yourself, it can make things better, or at the very least it can make a bad situation not as terrible. That's my opinion, you know. It's easier said than done, because if you make yourself a victim, your life shapes around that victimhood, that victim mentality. So, you know, and sometimes, you know, you gotta help yourself, you know. At the end of the day, you're you know, so you gotta be on your own side, and that's why I say don't hate yourself. Don't hate on yourself either. Yeah, taking responsibility is good, but it is hard, and that's why, honestly, we need Jesus, we need God, we really do. That is my number one advice for everything, and I actually mean that. I'm not just trying to, like, push someone, I'm not trying to, like, be disingenuous. I actually sincerely mean, on every level, it is better, Jesus, and I have other videos talking about that, other people do as well. This cat, dude. Other than that, I mean, if you are in a low as well, it's not always a bad thing to really check where you're going wrong. I mean, being aware of your own sins is actually really good. There's a thing in the Bible about godly sorrow leading to repentance, like being genuinely aware of your mistakes can lead you to coming to God for forgiveness and turning away from your evils and having faith in Jesus and God. So praying and reading the Bible is all good for that. But being aware of your practical mistakes, you know, is also very good. And as I say, you can learn a lot. So if you just have in your mind, when even a small bad thing or a big bad thing that happens to you, how can it... Sorry if you can hear my cat. I'm actually like, can't believe this, dude. Shut up. If you learn from your mistakes, if you make the effort to, you know, get a bit of wisdom from that and get a solution, and really have in your mind that you could help others in the exact same situation or stuff like that, it will make it more meaningful for you, and it's just blessing in that, you know, and you could literally help someone. You know, there's something powerful about, you know, dealing with hard times and it not making you cold or horrible, and you actually, like, you know, making something good out of it. It's good. Cat, you are so annoying and you're trying to jump on my chair. Stop that. So yeah, bro, and the last thing I'd say is, if you are going through some bad times, you can check where you're going practically bad, and it's quite good, in my opinion, to look for places you might be going wrong, like even chemically or psychologically. Like if you are on TikTok, or you drink a lot, or you smoke weed, or you watch porn regularly, and you do stuff like that, that is the first place to look. It's if you do those things, and I would include Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts as well, but if you do those things and you feel bad quite a lot, it's actually not that surprising, given what you know, I know and other people know about those things and the body and your brain chemistry. Like, it would almost be more surprising if you didn't feel bad if you were doing those things. So my cat is so cute, bro. That's what I'd say. Just look for that. Turn away from TikTok and porn and weed and alcohol. It can be difficult, but do it. Other than that, there's other good things, you know. Don't be, you know, eating or drinking sugar or caffeine all the time, you know what I'm saying? Don't be treating people terribly. Don't be messing with mysticism. Sleep well, you know, be hydrated, and yeah, go out your comfort zone, all that. Spend time around people. It's all like, you know, don't beat yourself up trying to be perfect, but it all starts with Christ and God, and you know, those things. I just say, like, if you have those set out. But the reason I say that is because if you have your body and your mind right, you know, the body is your temple. The body is the vessel you move around your whole life with. So if you're treating it bad, like, other stuff is going to go bad around it. And there's just so many problems caused by that. So if you look for those things, you could make your life so much better. It might not fix all your problems, but it might just help. I would say Jesus and God are the number one biggest thing. And it's not even just for a comforting or better life. Like, you have to be prepared to go through some struggles potentially, you know, with God and Jesus, but it's much better. It probably will help your life. And, you know, it's got a greater benefit, which is your soul and your eternal soul and love and truth for the way you treat people, and a million more reasons that other people can tell you, or maybe I could mention another video. Yeah, bro. No, add to the TikTok and alcohol and weed and all that stuff. If you don't exercise regularly, you know, there is also, you're very likely to feel bad. Most people I know that stop exercising for a while, when they usually do, start feeling worse. It is actually the same for people who stop praying or stop reading the Bible, so that's a great thing as well. But if you aren't exercising, it's one of those things where just psychologically, biologically, it wouldn't be that surprising that you feel bad. In fact, it might be a bit surprising that you don't feel bad, if that makes sense. So yeah, bro, do exercise, hit the gym, do something that actually exerts you, you know, go for runs. It's a game changer. There's lots of resistance around all this stuff, by the way, but just take little steps. Start with God, I would say. Seriously, it's so much better than everything else. And yeah, bro, do little steps, you know. Also, if your body and chemicals and mind, and especially spirit, that's the number one thing, which is why we need Jesus and God. But if your body and mind and all that feel bad, it can also affect your thoughts and thought patterns. So you can actually have the exact same situation, but if you're in this state, it will seem worse to you, and it will just create a loop of suffering. I say all this, I'm not perfect at this, I fall through these mistakes, it's easier said than done, but I think this stuff is generally true. So, you know, keep it in mind. No, I'm not perfect as well. It's better, bro. So praise God, focus on God first. And yeah, you know, if I'm suffering, sometimes I can make these mistakes too, you know. I can be like, I can deal with it badly. I don't always like suffering either, but, you know, hopefully this is cool. Stay blessed. Leave a comment if you want. Ask me any questions.